as of last week of December. There were some challenges which came our way. Lanreotide, one of the prominent products, faced a supply challenge following the US FDA audit of our partner Pharma. We are working together with them on the remediation efforts, and we expect supplies to resume sometime in H1 of FY27. Meantime, the product will be in limited supplies based on clearance of existing lots. And we're also looking at enabling an alternate site together with the partner. What's exciting about our US business is the pipeline. We're making good progress on that. There are 4 respiratory assets that are under assessment and nearing approval. We believe 2 of these we could have a sole generic opportunity with quite a significant material upside. On peptides, we now have approval for generic Victoza, and we expect to launch 3 more peptides in the coming financial year. So our new launches would provide us strong sustainability on top line as well as bottom line. And while Lena revenues taper off on the business, we would expect a good continuity of growth in the business. On South Africa market, the private business outperformed the market 6.3 versus 5.7 for the market. We did see a temporary destocking at the channel at the end of Q3, but this will normalize in the coming quarter. EMU, happy to say that they delivered 4th consecutive quarter of 100 million plus revenues with 7% YOY growth in USD terms, supported with strong execution both in DTM as well as B2B markets. And I think important to also mention that on regulatory front, we are expecting re-inspection of Indore facility anytime now. So if I then move to an update on the profitability, we have reported 18% EBITDA for the quarter. This is a little bit lower than our internal plans, approximately 1.5 to 2%. A few reasons. One, as I mentioned, Lanreo, we had supply challenges towards the end of the quarter. Also, we continue to invest strongly in R&D. We put in 7% investment to sales on R&D, and we have some very exciting assets in the pipeline, including the filings that we are doing on complex oligonucleotides. Additionally, we incurred certain operating expenses in the quarter on account of preparation of the upcoming respiratory launches. So most of these are in the nature of one-offs. We are excited about the pipeline that is coming in. And I think I am personally also excited about the quality and capability of the teams that we have. So we really look forward to a sustainable growth on top line as well as profitability as we continue to serve patients around the world. With that, we will open the forum for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umang and Achin. We will now move on to the question and answer session. Those who have questions, please submit them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Your name will be called out to interact with Umang and Achin. The participant whose name is called out can then unmute their mics and ask questions. We request that you limit your questions to 1 to 2. This will allow us to accommodate more attendees to interact with the leadership within the stipulated time. If we receive the same question from multiple participants, we will only unmute the participant who submitted the question first to avoid repetition. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Over to you, Lynn.
Thank you, Trina. Our first question is from Jyoti Datta from the Hindu Business Line. Jyoti, you may ask your question now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. And to Umang, yeah, goodbye. Where are you going next? You haven't indicated to that. And on the questions part, one is on 2 of your recent launches, which is, your announcements on CAR-T. When would it go to Africa and how would it be priced? And how is Afreezah doing? And if I may ask one more, what are your expectations of the budget? Thank you.
Go, Achin. Take it.
Yeah. So, Jyoti, thank you for those questions. These are all very important areas for us. So, CAR-T, we have partnered with ImmunoAct for South Africa and certain other markets in Africa. We are in the filing process, and once those approvals are in place, we would be able to launch them. A very important therapy area and a very high area of need for the patient. So, we're looking forward to that. Afreeza, very similar story. We got very good reception to the launch that we did in India last month. Inhaled insulin is an option for particularly for mealtime insulin replacement and helps patients avoid the prick. So we got very good initial response. Early days from sales perspective. We will update you as that progresses. With respect to, I think, the policy, there are a few items which concern our industry as a whole. We've been talking a lot about how the sector can go from volume to value, which means more of innovation, and what is the policy framework that supports innovation, what are some of the incentives, how does the ecosystem get funded and created, and I think a little bit more around price stability on the market while we continue to improve the quality standards. So these are the typical policy points that we're talking about. Certain things manifest in the budget, every year. Certain others are decisions which are taken at different points in time.
Thank you, Achin. Our next question is from Anju from the script. Unmuting you, Anju.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Just a couple of questions. So, how does Cipla plan to de-risk its supply chain for some of its other key products, given what we've seen with lanreotide? And if you can, also just give us a broad indication on how filgrastim is tracking. And my second question is again on the CAR-T, building from what Jyoti said. It's a really different product from other drugs, given the vein-to-vein time, cold chain logistics, etc. involved. So how is Cipla ready for that kind of a shift in these markets? Because they are also markets that are not highly developed on those fronts. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if I can just squeeze in the bit on the tirzepatide deal, does that preclude you from participating in SEMA? Thanks.
Okay. I'll start with CAR-T, and then I would request you, Anju, if you could repeat some of the points. There are 4 questions. I forgot to note them. But CAR-T, I think it's a cutting-edge technology lifesaver for many of the oncology patients. Our approach is to partner with the best. So we've done a partnering with ImmunoAct for their first product. And over time, the technology is evolving very fast. So we are in touch with multiple players for newer technologies as well. Our idea would be to collaborate on go-to-market, collaborate on the science, collaborate on the clinicals, but also leverage a lot of the innovation strengths of the partner itself. So that's how we would plan to take it and be able to serve the maximum number of patients. On de-risking of supply chain point, I think what we've done over the last 3 odd years is we built alternate manufacturing facilities for some of our largest products. The respiratory assets, for example, a couple of them are coming out of our US site, which is in the Boston area. So we will aspire to have more than one site for all the top products. On some of the partner products, these are very complex. So goal is the same, but it sometimes takes longer to execute a dual site approach. On, I think, obesity and tirzepatide versus semaglutide, if I got your question right. Our current focus remains on tirzepatide in terms of being a best-in-class molecule with dual action, GLP and GIP. While I think we would be able to serve maximum number of patients on that as part of our partnership, we continue to remain open, and we will explore how the SEMA market shapes up, especially at lower price points once the genericization happens. So we'll wait and see, and we would try and play in this segment to the largest extent possible. I think your fourth point was around filgrastim, and I think there we have made a small entry in the US. It's a sort of a genericized product. So our idea was to get some hands-on experience with biosimilars, because that's a space where we're looking to make investments for the future. So from front-end perspective, we are going in. It's doing what it was supposed to do as per plans, but not a huge number.
Thank you so much.
I hope I didn't miss out on any of your points, Sanju.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thanks, Sanju. Our next question is from Rishika Sadam from Reuters. Rishika, you can go ahead and speak.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, Rishika, please go ahead.
Umang, good luck for the next phase, and we'll miss you. And Mr. Gupta, good to talk to you. I just want to pick up on the semaglutide opportunity. So are you also, has the company started preparing to be able to enter the SEMA market, or are you just contemplating if the market shapes up well and for you to be able to enter in the future?
So Rishika, as I mentioned, your peak is a massive opportunity for us. And since we believe that is the best-in-class product out there, and it is under patent for a long time from now, at the moment, we're focusing maximum energies on that. We have possibilities to explore on SEMA, but we would rather wait and watch and see how the market plays out before we decide on our entry in that space.
Right. I just had a quick one more question. I wanted to look at the acquisition strategy for Cipla in 2026. Are there any particular therapy areas that you're focusing on across markets?
Yes. So we would look at chronic as a segment from India perspective because of the aging, lifestyle, and affordability factors that drive the growth, underlying growth in that. So we would explore, and we are continuing to evaluate opportunities on that side of the business. Globally, again, we would be looking more at opportunities inorganically, which can get us into differentiated spaces and potentially help us grow in the US specialty or in the European market. So I think those are the priorities that we're looking at from inorganic perspective.
Right. My quick last question on your peak. When we discussed last time, Umang also talked about the idea was getting into smaller towns and tier 2 and tier 3 markets. How's the response being there for the drug?
Yes, so it's early days, but the response is very good. I think India as a market is very deep, and what we're discovering is, therapies have takers in different parts of the country as much as it has in the major metros, and the drivers also pretty much remain the same. Prescribers would want to know everything from a scientific perspective, and patients would want to know everything from a safety efficacy perspective before they get on to the treatment. So we are seeing good initial response, but as I said, it's very early days, so it'll start reflecting in numbers hopefully in the coming months.
Right. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Rishika. Next, we have Ekta Batra from CNBC-TV18. Over to you, Ekta.
Ekta, we can't hear you.
Do we move to the next question? Maybe
Yeah,
come
I
back
think we
to
move to the
Ekta.
next question. Next up, we have Satviki Sanjay from Bloomberg. Go ahead, Satviki.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, congrats, Mr. Gupta. Nice to be interacting with you and look forward to our future interactions and good luck, Mr. Vora. My question is quickly on your peak. Just from a penetration perspective, what are the strategies you're looking at when it comes to expanding it in smaller towns? Are you looking at working with hospital or healthcare providers? Are you looking at tapping these individual clinics? How do you see penetration expanding further for this specific obesity segment in India's smaller towns that have been largely untouched?
Sure. So, Satviki, I think from a disease prevalence perspective, and we are now starting to call obesity as a disease rather than just a lifestyle condition. Prevalence is very high, and prevalence is as much in the interiors as it is in the major metros. So, patient pool exists. Prescribers are very keen on knowing, how to administer all the scientific data behind the drug, how to manage all, the patient life cycle and the lifestyle as well, while they adopt a medical approach to solving their obesity issues, how to screen and all of that. So I think the crux of all of this is science and scientific education dissemination. So that's where Cipla specializes a lot. We've created therapies like respiratory, which also have huge amount of scientific detailing requirements, as well as in some sense there was a taboo associated with respiratory on use of inhalers, which is more or less the same case when it comes to use of an injectable medicine for treating obesity. So we are working through our teams, scientific teams, medical teams, and also working with the partner to work on all of these aspects, and that's how we are creating the reach. Distribution wise, Cipla has the best distribution, so I think that helps a lot as well, because while you're creating the demand, you also need to make the product available. So we try and go as patient centric and as close to the patient as possible through the doctor channel and making the product available in the chain.
Understood. Any
Sorry,
kind of,
just one thing that I'd like to add, not to interrupt. I think awareness is very high right now for obesity in India. And this is not just, something that we are seeing in tier 1 cities or metros. There are conversations in tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities that we are seeing between doctors and their patients, where patients themselves are asking for options to their obesity. So I think there is a element of this demand being latent in the society across all tiers of towns.
Got it. So there's definitely an opportunity to go further deeper into smaller towns. Any color that you would be able to share on estimates of how this drug can add to your top lines or your India business in the quarters coming sometime this year, by next year?
So look, that's under contract, but I could give you a surrogate. Last month, IQVIA reported Mounjaro sales at 130 crores.
Right.
And this is their, I think, 8th or 9th month. So the potential is immense. Obviously, we will have to execute well, and we'll have to solve not just for metros, but we have to solve in large parts for interiors. And, if we do that well, I think we could make this treatment available to many, many people around the country. So sales wise, we would not be able to comment on any targets, but we expect it to be large.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you so much, sirs.
Thank you, Satviki. Next, we have Ekta Batras from CNBC-TV18. Over to you, Ekta.
Hi, I hope y'all can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Achin as well as Umang, thank you very much for joining into this call. Achin, just wanted to understand that there was a spike in your cost of goods sold. It was up 16% on a year-on-year basis. Can you tell us why?
Let me start, and maybe Achin can contribute. I think part of the reason that you're seeing is a mixed variance sector. So you're seeing that we have very, very, very marginal amounts of lenalidomide in our numbers this quarter. So the impact of that mix is probably what you're seeing on gross margins. Largely it's that, plus also some amount of Landrio, which is not in the mix because of obviously shortages and disruptions in the market. So those are the two prime reasons that we're seeing in terms of overall gross margin fall. But Achin, anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think, so those are the primary reasons. Also, as I mentioned, our R&D costs have gone up and some of those relate to procurement. So that also sits in the material costs.
Okay. So for lanreotide in particular, how much was the impact due to the supply challenges this quarter? And in, say, Q4 FY27, what can we factor in terms of the supply challenges and the impact on the P&L?
So I think, Ekta, what we are guiding to, what we've been public about is that the partner at this point in time is remediating their site. So it's safe to imagine that for some time there is no production happening, right? Until whatever they're trying to do from a civil structure wise is established. So therefore, more of this impact will come in Q4 as well, right? But we are hoping that at least at some point this turnaround happens within, let's say, Q4 or early Q1, where the production resumes. That's where our current understanding, based on what the partners told us, is. Now there is impact of Landrio in Q3, but that impact will also be more visible in Q4 for us.
Okay, so what does that mean for the US business? $167 million is what you did this quarter. Revlimid generic is out of the equation. Lanreotide is seeing supply issues. What are we expecting in terms of US quarterly sales?
So we're not guiding to that. I think what we're trying to say is that we have a temporary. So, if the question is what would the next quarter sale number look like, we have a view of that, right? But we're not guiding to indicate whether that is the true number for the rest of the year, because our belief is that, we may have this one quarter issue in this current quarter because of Lanreotide. But the number of launches that, and the arsenal of launches that we are armed with is going to be fairly significant too, and very meaningful to the company. So I think, so we're not guiding in specific, but, Landrio is what it is, and hopefully it resolves in a quarter.
All right, just a quick last question. Last quarter, you had reduced your EBITDA margin guidance to 22.75%. versus 24%. Given the current scenario, are you looking to reduce it further or will you maintain this guidance?
So because of Landrio, I think, Achin, maybe you should comment.
Yeah. So I think, as I mentioned, we fell 1.5 to 2% short on our Q3, and Landrio is a issue which will take, some little bit of time to resolve. So we would be lowering the guidance for this full year to around 21% from the previous number.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Vora, where are we seeing you go next?
We'll let you know, Ekta.
Okay, we'll definitely miss you at Cipla, but all the best for your future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ekta. Next up, we have Ridhima Bhatnagar from NDTV Profit. Over to you, Ridhima.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Congratulations, Achin, and all the best, Umang. So my question is that how confident are you that the upcoming launches like Advair will cushion this impact by FY27? And also regarding the Pfizer deal, how quickly do you expect the exclusive marketing of brands like Corix and Dolonex to contribute to the top line without requiring upfront investment?
Sure. So, Ridhima, as I mentioned, we have 4 respiratory assets which are nearing approval. And actually, generic Advair might be the smallest of them now because there's competition there. We have 2 assets where we believe we can be the sole generic, and these are pretty sizable opportunities. So we are quite confident that the respiratory pipeline, as well as the other pipeline, peptides, etc., will provide us very meaningful growth in the coming year. Now, with respect to the Pfizer transaction, it's already started adding to sales from January onwards. And this, we can share a lot of the infra that we have, so it doesn't come with a huge amount of incremental expenses for us.
All right. If I may ask a last question, as Revlimid related pressures fade and newer products scale up, what do you see as the single biggest driver for Cipla's earning over the next 2 to 3 years, and what could still derail the trajectory?
So, look, I think we have one of the largest contributions from our India business, and that remains a core. We have very strong position. We're making investments, so that would remain a strong driver of growth for us, and works well with our patient centricity, the ethos of the organization as well. So that's one very strong lever and a very steady lever. The other is the pipeline that we've been investing in over the years. We had a little bit of delays because of the site remediation. Some of these products could have hit the market by now, but they will now very soon because we have opened up alternate sites. So that will provide significant growth upside. Additionally, I think what we will look to do is to do a little bit of inorganic, which we haven't really done much of in the last many years. So between these things, we are very confident. The Q3 is more of an aberration, and I think we would expect a more steady growth, going forward, and a very strong prospect from a long-term perspective.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ridhima. Next, we have Rika Bhattacharya. Rika, you may speak now.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, Rika.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Vora. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Wish you all the very best for the road ahead. And hello, Achin.
Hi.
Good to meet you, meet you, and look forward to meeting you in person. So, a lot of the questions have been asked. A rather broad question for you, Achin. To understand that as you come on board, how would you articulate the strategic priorities for Cipla over the next 2 to 3 years? In terms of market share, in terms of focus, therapy areas. How do you envisage this going ahead?
Sure. So I think first thing is to say we have a very solid platform, and it's been a professionally run organization for the last at least a decade. What we would look at doing more of or different, I think a couple of things. One, deepening the franchise in India. So respiratory, we have a leadership. Can we create a similar leadership on chronic conditions like cardiometabolic, obesity, which are going to see more incidence because of aging, lifestyle, etc. So that's one focus area, and we've got a lot of efforts behind that, both from in-house as well as through multiple ways of partnering. Second thing that we would look to do is, establish a global leadership on respiratory. So far, we've been working on generics. Going forward, can we look at some differentiated specialty type of opportunities as well on respiratory? And we have a few things, that are in the works, which will help us get on that journey. Third, I would say inorganic, as I just mentioned, we've got significant cash reserves, which we can deploy towards our strategic goals, and that'll help us gain deeper presence in differentiated specialty businesses in different markets. And finally, I would say the whole industry is moving more and more towards innovation. So we would look at more of innovation, starting with India and emerging markets, because we have solid front ends here, but building capabilities as we go along. So that the business is strong, not just from a 3 to 5 year window, but more from a longer term window as well.
Right. Thank you very much for that. Just one more quick question on the GLP-1 segment. That how do you see this segment contributing to Cipla's revenue growth over the next 12 to 24 months? And what will be your commercialization priorities, in terms of pricing, market share, distribution, to ensure that the launch, translates into meaningful financial impact?
Right. So I think the biggest play that we have at this point is Your Peak, which is a partnered product. So it comes with the regular in-licensing margins. We have a dedicated team to drive the penetration across all the town classes. The revenue contribution, we would expect it to be quite meaningful, but I think we would also keep tracking it independent of the rest of the business, because in-licensing margins are lower than the rest of the business margins. So we would want to keep, a nice balance between what is coming from the house of Cipla versus what is the innovation and really cutting edge technology that is coming from partnering. And I think that's how we see it, which can help us optimize on, top line growth as well as on, managing our profitability and sustainability for the business.
Right. And Sema, you said it will be a wait and watch mode at the moment, right?
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rika. Next, we have Meryl D'Souza from ET Now. Over to you, Meryl. Okay, I think we'll move on to the next. Next, we have Vishwanath from Money Control. Over to you, Vishwanath.
Yeah, hi, sir. Best wishes to Umang and congratulations, Achin. Just to start with, on this, so can you give us some color on the upcoming launches in US market that can really, make up for, some of the revenue losses we are seeing in Revlimid and also Lanreotide?
So, Vishwanath, I noticed you wishing Umang best of luck and me only congratulations. But I think, the story that we have from US perspective is, we focus a lot on the value and the complexity of launches as opposed to the number of filings. And that basically means that respiratory complex products, peptide complex products, and various other long-acting injectables, the pipeline that we have is high-value pipeline. So that's, what gives us the confidence. As I mentioned, there are two very meaningful material launches that we're expecting on respiratory front, where we expect to be sole generic. So that can definitely be a needle mover and can make up for what we're losing of the prior years of Lena. I think going forward, again, a lot of our efforts will be on differentiated products because the market continues to be highly competitive. And therefore, with Cipla's capability, Cipla's ability to invest behind the right programs, partner on the right programs, we believe we have a play on the more complex side of the business as opposed to going after more volume side of the business. And that will help us offset Lena and deliver a strong.
On this Lanreotide, is there any plan B, sir? I mean, in case if the partner side, if there is any delays, is there any plan B on that?
So there are two plans there. One is to bring the supplies back. While there are some lots which are manufactured, which can be quality released, but to bring the supplies back from existing site of the partner is plan A. Plan B is to enable an alternate site, which is also a discussion that is happening as we speak.
One more, you have seen 400 basis points gain in respiratory market leadership. Is it unusual, sir, or is it anything different this season that has happened?
So the market growth is strong in these months. Typically, it's a seasonal month. But I would say growing faster than market is purely execution of the teams, which has resulted in that kind of upside.
So on this Galvus, you've mentioned that you'll manufacture also. I mean, the manufacturing will also be in house. What is the plan, sir, and how big is this product for you?
So it's a pretty sizable play in oral anti-diabetics. And just to give you a sense, 4 years back, we were ranked 32 in diabetes. Now we're in top 10. And we're expecting to get in the top few players, by the end of next year. So Galvus plays an important role there. The manufacturing was so far coming from the partner. And as of 1st of Jan, we have the ability to manufacture it ourselves. So we will be able to commercialize the product that comes out of Cipla manufacturing.
Will the price be the same, or will there be any changes in the pricing of the product since you have an advantage, localizing the production?
It'll mostly be the same because this went off patent a few years ago. So pricing will be similar. It's a market which is well formed at this point. So we would just look at more continuity rather than disrupting anything.
Awesome. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vishwanath. Next up, we have Anjali Singh from Business Standard. Over to you, Anjali.
Hello.
Hi. We can hear you, Anjali.
Yes. So I think you have already answered this, but still, for your tirzepatide partnership that you have going on, is there any early estimates on the potential volumes or market share that you're looking at for this year, even for annual prescriptions for that matter, if there's any indication there?
I think it'll be hard to say right now. It's a very fast growing segment. Month on month, you're seeing the kind of growth that other therapies would see on an annualized basis. So we are getting onto that ladder now. And I think give us maybe 1 quarter, we'll actually be able to come back with real statistics. But the effort is to go as deep and as wide in the market as possible with the Cipla capability, our distribution reach, and the coverage that we have on the various specialties who prescribe this medicine.
Okay.
I think that was the last question for today. Over to you, Trina.
Thank you, Lynn. With this, we conclude our briefing today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have any follow-up questions, do feel free to contact us separately. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.